In today's how-to, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a substance I invented called Terrarium Putty. Now I know what you're all probably thinking, Dion, this stuff looks like a pile of dog. Yeah, it's brown and mushy too, but believe me that by the end of this video, you'll be wanting to make your own after you see all the terrarium applications it can be used for. The first thing you're going to need are a few handfuls of clay-based, chemical-free cat litter. I use a brand called Odor Busters, and it works perfectly for this. The next thing we're going to throw into the mix has to be some sort of soil additive. I like to use peat moss. This gives our mixture a very natural appearance. As if it could be any easier, the last thing we need to do is add a bit of water. This helps mix the ingredients well and will ensure you get a nice, smooth, soil-like consistency and texture. One of the most important things I have to mention about Terrarium Putty is this. It only really works for humid or tropical terrariums. And the reason for this is because over time, when the putty isn't kept moist, it begins to dry out and crack. There we go. Now we're ready to use our fresh batch of Terrarium Putty. Here I'm going to use the putty to attach vines I made onto a natural background. So you can see here that all I'm really doing is sticking the vine where I want it, taking a piece of the Terrarium Putty, shoving it in, and molding it up. It's like playing with Play-Doh or something like that. You just find a spot that you want the vine and push the clay into place. So yeah, you can see there are a lot of neat things you can do with this stuff. I mean, you can mush it into the background, create different textures, but my favorite application has to be the following, as you see here. I like to use the Terrarium Putty to fasten plants to my backgrounds, and this is an awesome way to use it, not only because it looks natural and it isn't very obvious, but because the plants themselves can root through it and even absorb nutrients from the clay. So the cool thing is, I can take a vine, stick it to the wall, keep it well watered, and it'll naturally begin to anchor itself to the wall over time, thanks to the Terrarium Putty. How awesome is that? As I mentioned previously, remember to keep the putty moist. If you happen to have a mist king or some other kind of misting system rigged up to your enclosures, definitely make sure that one of the nozzles is pointed towards any features that utilize the Terrarium Putty. That'll keep it nice and moist at all times and prevent any possible cracking. What I'm doing here is just taking a bit of dry substrate and pressing it into the Terrarium Putty to help further conceal it. So there you go, now you know how to make Terrarium Putty. Hope you enjoyed the video and stay tuned for future terrarium tutorials. Tying your putty off into a plastic bag will keep it fresh till your next use. Want to be featured in an upcoming video? Follow the video description link to my Facebook page and PM me a photo of how you use the Terrarium Putty, and I'll be sure to share the photo in a future video. Lastly, I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Jeffrey at Reptile Edge. He has some awesome videos. We got unpacking videos, tutorials on making enclosures. It just doesn't stop. He has awesome content. Please guys, go follow the link in my description to Reptile Edge and follow Jeffrey. Subscribe to him. You won't regret it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe.